got some out in Dallas, now I'm smelling like LA. Met a from Miami to the Machiavelli. Left the kids on the belly, left the vid on my celly. She ate like spaghetti, I'm hitting gas and Dreddy. Met some killers in Memphis, like they from Oakland. Give me my flowers while I can smell them. Ain't talking about roses, literally I'm lean. Mix it like a bought it in Nashville. Then I woke up in Tulsa, Oklahoma. It's sunny, California, but nothing like Compton. It's more like Calistoga, and it's hot as Arizona. I pop me a Fresno, hard colder than Minnesota in October. Don't interrupt, darling, I'm in the zone. Why does everywhere I go just remind me of home? You know that state of gold with the bed. Them other places come close, but
Hello, everybody. I'm Larry Ridley, and this is the NFL on EA Sports. In today's matchup, two teams coming in feeling good about how their last game went and want to continue with another win here today. It's the Jaguars going up against the Texans. So, with the call of this Week 16 matchup, let's hand it over to our commentators, Brandon Guyton and Charles Davis.
All right, thanks, Larry. EA Sports coverage of the NFL brings us to the heart of Texas and NRG Stadium in Houston. Tonight, we've got a great Sunday night matchup between the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Houston Texans. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he is going to lose yardage here. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up second down.
On offense, the guy that you want to have the best eyes on the field are your quarterbacks. So you can see everything pre-snap, and then, of course, as the play develops. On defense, oftentimes it's the linebacker. And on this play, his eyes took him right to the ball, and he made a nice tackle.
And they're behind the sticks here a bit now, dealing with a 2nd and 12. Out of the gun, it's Osweiler. Wide open receiver complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory.
Usually hitting a deep post pattern, as we just saw there for a big gainer, that's tough to do because you usually have a safety or two in the middle of the field. But if you hit enough crossers and underneath routes and curls, you start to get those guys creeping up, wanting to make plays on the football. It's the equivalent of a changeup in baseball. You show your other stuff, throw the...
And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. Kamale Correa in there for the sack, and he's closing in on that all-time record. That's number 19 on the year. Now Osweiler on second down. The hook up on the right side to Hopkins. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down. Offensive starters here. Wide receiver DeAndre Hopkins, a talented wide receiver.
And he's still looking for that ultimate recognition. He wants to be mentioned with the best receivers in the game. His numbers suggest that we should do so.
This one complete. It's C.J. Fedorowicz. And he'll be brought down at the 45-yard line. Just a 5-yard pickup, and it leads to 4th down.
So much about this game is just understanding situations and then having to execute, isn't it? Guard the first down sticks. Don't let them get there. And they rallied and made the tackle.
And no return on this one as the fair catch is signaled for and taken. It'll go as just a 15-yard punt. And the Jaguars go on offense, 1st down and 10. They'll run for the first time with Devontae Freeman. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be 2nd down. And here's the offense today that hopes to get off to a strong start. And they still need 8 yards for the first here on 2nd down. Play action. Now it's Bortles. Rush coming, and he's taken down. Bernardrick McKinney in from his linebacker spot. He's able to drop it for a loss of about 10. They fake the handoff. Now Bortles. A hit as he throws there, incomplete. Tyler Lockett was the target there, and that brings up 4th down. So on 4th down, the Jags send out Brad Nortman to punt. It's taken to the 26. That'll be put in the books as a 53-yard punt. And the Texans take possession. And now out comes Houston. And they'll be looking to avoid what happened last time, which is punting the football.
But when you look at how teams play the game, that complementary football comes into play. How do I take care of my defense? How do I take care of my offense? Well, the defense is taking care of them in a lot of ways. Now it's time for the offense to jump things up and help their defense out. Give them a little bit of rest.
Yeah, time for them to give them a rest. Took the words right out of my mouth. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. The offensive line and its ability to open holes in this defensive front, something they were confident they could create in this game. Got the job done there, picked up the first.
And something they wanted to do. Have we ever met offensive linemen that don't want to fire out and hit people? I mean, they love the running game. Guys want to do that, and when you emphasize it, practice it, and work on it.
Now the ball's out. Osweiler lost it.
On plays like this where the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back. Because this is the quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
He's got Fuller. A good pickup there, 18 yards as they get closer for 3rd down.
That looked like a pretty good route combination there because you've got to find a way to clear the guy running the drag. Because when you do, you just put the ball on him and then let him run.
He's got some space. On 3rd down, Osweiler. A bullet throw, but incomplete. C.J. Fedorowicz, the intended receiver. Now 4th down.
Normally, he's pretty reliable. He usually catches what's thrown to him. On that play, he simply dropped it.
And this one hits at the 1, continues on into the end zone for a touchback. The Jags offense now gets set and heads back onto the field. And the first drive, 3 and out. Second possession, see if they can get a little momentum.
And oftentimes that first drive is just a feeling out process. You have some plays that you've got called and you want to see how defense reacts. It may not go terrific on the first one. Now they're ready to go. They've kind of got to look at them, got a sense. Let's see if they open things up a little bit.
See if they open things up. Let's see what the defense does here, too, after a good stop.
It's a nice completion, a little bit of run after catch as well to create the yardage that they got. But it is so tough to cover that route, the drag route, because they run it at varying speeds. Because the key is to create hesitancy on the defender's part.
Always so empathetic for those DBs, aren't you? And he'll get this up to about the 40. Just what you want on a first down run. Call it 8 yards, and it's 2nd and 2.
Some runs are blocked so well, you almost forget that someone has to carry the ball to gain the yardage. The leverage by the offensive line to create space up front, really well done.
See if they stay on the ground for 2nd down. Freeman, the lone man in the backfield. He'll get the football here. And not much room to operate as he'll get this up only to about the 41. Only a yard on the pickup, so a good situation on 2nd and 2. It's now 3rd and 1. And a look now at the defense for Houston.
Jadeveon Clowney was the #1 pick in the NFL draft, and it was with good reason. An absolute athletic freak. Now he's trying to add consistency to his game.
They come out here in the eye. And they'll try and Burns. Now he's hit. And Bortles fumble. It's loose. And they will set up shop in enemy territory at the 42-yard line. And the Texans set to come onto the field. And last time out, they had to punt the football away. Anything positive possibly to take from that?
There always is when you're punting the football away. It doesn't sound like it because you're giving it up, but you've avoided a mistake.
At least you didn't turn it over.
You didn't turn it over, right? You're giving your defense a chance because you're punting the ball away, and they're set to go on the field as opposed to sudden change after a turnover. And wow, now we got to go out there and stop people. So, yeah, there's always something positive to be gained from it.
They go play action here on first down. His throw incomplete. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin, and it's Texans football as we get going in quarter number 2. They've got it 2nd and 10 to start things out. Now it's Osweiler. And Anderson's got it. And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. They pick up 12 on the play there, and they move the chains. And now the passing game here in the second quarter starting to heat up a little bit.
Don't you feel the rhythm starting to happen, right? You see it. Now the confidence is starting to rise. I think now as a play caller, because that has happened, you lean on it a little bit more. You don't go totally away from running the football, but you do say, guess what? We can throw it. We can throw it well with a whole lot of confidence.
And he is going to lose yardage here. So a loss of 5, and it'll be 2nd down.
There's another example of why they haven't scored any points so far. I think it's time to abandon the run game, spread things out, and go to the air. It certainly can't be any worse than what they've done so far.
They'll come out in the pistol. Here's Osweiler. Finding his safety valve here. That's complete. And he's able to work it here to the 8-yard line. It's a gain of 9 yards. And that'll lead here to a 3rd down. Well, clearly one of his advantages as a passer is his height. Sit back in the pocket, fired over the middle. That makes things tougher defensively, doesn't it?
It really does, because your goal is to move the quarterback off his initial spot when he gets his drop back completed. But when you have that type of height, he can stay in there. If he's willing to take the hits and just fire over the top, which saves him time and actually completes a play a little bit quicker than it normally does, for a quarterback has to slide and find open space to throw.
And we were scoreless up until this point in the second quarter. Now we finally have a little action.
Let's see where this action takes us. First quarter, no points at all. Now we've got our first score of the game. Well, does that signal that we're going to get more as we go along, or will it revert back to what we saw in the beginning of the game?
This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And he's able to get it across the 20, but not by much, as he's marked down at the 21-yard line. And out now comes Jacksonville as they get ready to go. And last time they coughed it up, led to a field goal. They're fortunate that it only led to a field goal, but still, they're not happy about it.
Could you sense the relief, though, when they only gave up the field goal? And they were able to trot back out on the field and start this drive. A little more pep in their step because they didn't cost their team a touchdown. But they know they've got to do it a lot better than they did on the last possession.
The coach will just be relieved, though, if they recoup with a score here, right?
I think the coach will be ecstatic to see them pick themselves back up and now take it downfield, punch in the end zone without turning it over.
Looking to jam the receivers at the line here. Press coverage look defensively. Freeman, the lone man in the backfield. And he'll get it up the middle. And he will lose yardage and be backed up to the 24. It'll be a loss of 1, and they're going to have a 3rd down.
Partner, we're into the second quarter, and I guess you can kind of look at it both ways. The offense, they've got to figure out what they're going to do because they haven't scored any points. But if you're the defense, you're feeling great about what you got going on. The only concern you have, if you get to the half, what adjustments will the offense make to try to defeat you?
And he's going to go down. The Texans come at him and able to bring him to the ground. Boy, he came in off the edge so quickly there.
Look out, because that's exactly what it was being shouted by the offensive lineman to his quarterback, because he had no chance to block him.
He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. taken from just outside the 30. A good return there. Call it 13 yards. And out will come the offense as they take over. Out comes the Houston offense as they get set to take over here. And they had 3 points last time, but they didn't want 3 points because they were well within range of scoring a touchdown. We'll see if they can do better now.
I'm with you on that one. Let's just go ahead and be frank about the whole thing. The only one happy about the 3-point
the kicker.
Exactly. You put it through the post. That's going to help him in contract time. But that offense, they're thinking, let's get in the end zone this time.
I don't know if that'll help him. They've got his man complete. And he'll take this one in for a Texans touchdown. DeAndre Hopkins hitting double digits with his 10th touchdown of the season. And the Texans are able to show off their quick strike ability. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. And out now comes Jacksonville as they get ready to go. And last drive, 3 and out. Still a goose egg on the scoreboard. How do they break that goose egg?
They've got to find a way to get the ball in the hands of their playmakers, get them some space, and try and make a first down and get some momentum going. It's been a struggle for them throughout the game, and that 3 and out on the last possession, that told you just how stalled they are on offense.
So who will step up here? We'll see.
How many times do we say in this game that speed kills, and it does it in so many different ways? In this case, you got a back who's quick and shifty, can make moves, make people miss, but also gets to and through a hole before it can close down. That's some of the benefits of that speed, not just outrunning people in the secondary. And that led to a really nice game.
And taking it across midfield and inside the 45.
Well, coaches always talk about finding balance on offense. I don't think you can get much more balance than this. Big-time run, big-time pass.
A 1-2 combination. Looked pretty good.
How about that? Let's see if they can continue to take that kind of a punch, though.
Now he's hit and going to take over at their own 48-yard line. The Texans offense now, they get set to head back onto the field. And following that long touchdown pass, a one-play drive last time, to see if the defense, you know they're ready. They don't want that to happen again.
And you would have thought they would have been ready the last time. That's what you work on all the time. Make sure that no one gets behind you. That's the cardinal sin of defense, not giving up the long pass. They did. Let's see how they adjust. Oh, man, for him to be that wide open and drop it, sometimes you have just too much time on your hands, right? You end up thinking way too much, and your hands get shaky.
And, yes, he's a tight end, but that's a catch he should have made. Can't find anyone, and down he goes. Osweiler sacked. Kamale Correa in there for the sack, and that is now 21 for him on the year. Wow. And time for us to take a break here in the booth. We're back to Houston after this timeout. They come out here in the eye, and they'll run it here. And that play is blown. And now the Jags defense deciding to call a timeout. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. Here's Colton Schmidt now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. And this will be covered up. Pretty good result. It'll be down at the 14-yard line. And out now comes Jacksonville as they get ready to go. And last time the turnover on the fumble, and they were in enemy territory, so that had to be very frustrating. Down on the scoreboard here, can't do it again.
You nailed every part of what was frustrating. Down on the scoreboard, had a drive going, and pushed it past the 50-yard line, so they felt like they were in striking distance. And to come away with nothing, not a good feeling at all, to put it mildly. Now they can't afford to do that again.
Yeah, now can they get that bad taste out of their mouth here? Here's Bortles to throw. Trying to get it to Robinson, and it's intercepted. A great read, and it's picked off. And to the 40-yard line, that's where the return stops. And now out comes Houston. They've got the lead. Last time had to punt it, though. What's the key to this drive?
I think it's leverage.
Leverage.
Big guys up front. You know the motivational speech on the sideline is, guys, give us an opportunity. Protect the passer, create space for our runners, and let's go ahead and get these guys. Low man wins. Let's go do it on this drive.
We'll watch that leverage on this drive. Second down now after the pass completion.
When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary call, you've got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go because he might wander into some tough coverage.
Jalen Strong, the intended receiver, and it's third down.
It's a tried-and-true formula, and I don't think it'll change for as long as we play football. If someone's trying to throw the ball and you can put pressure on them and make it tough, that's only going to help your defense.
Yeah, he's since being hurried. He got rid of it before taking the hit, but incomplete.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56. Here we go now. 3-19.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll be taken. And now the Jags going to signal for another timeout. So that means they're down to one remaining here as we head toward halftime.
Well, this was just simply excellent defense. On this third down, they had to be alert for the possibility of a pass, but that didn't stop them at all from understanding what was going on when they decided to run the football, and they just swarmed and stuffed them for almost no gain.
Able to get away.
That's why you keep the legs churning.
One receiver left, three to the right. They go back to the air here after the INT. This complete to Lockett. A good pickup there. 8 yards on the first down completion.
And when you're playing a quarterback with some experience and some moxie, you enter the danger zone when you decide to blitz him because if he's able to diagnose as he did on that play, he can hurt you downfield.
He reads defenses so well. Now he's hit, and Bortles fumble. It's loose. So it goes as a fumble, but the key thing, not a fumble loss.
Yeah, that stat's big, isn't it? I mean, I remember watching teams play. The ball might be on the ground a number of times during the game, but if the other team doesn't get it, that's a huge difference in the ball game. And in this case, they were able to retain possession.
Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. These coaches told us they wanted to take the top off this defense. They wanted to be able to stretch them downfield. They showed it pretty well there.
And they knew that if they were able to do that, it would open up everything else. But how did they truly get it done? Practice in the previous week, making sure they had a plan, fine-tuned before they put it into effect in the game.
On 1st and 10, here's nowhere to go. Here he lost the football. And they're going to set up shop at the 27-yard line. Now the Texans offense, they head back out to do battle here. And where the ball is now, you got the field goal pretty much in the bag. Now do you try for the end zone a couple of times?
I don't think there's any question about it. You might get a gift of 6 points rather than the 3 that you just noted that you feel like you already have. Be aggressive, go after it, and try and get those points. We know it's not an easy job to go out and catch passes when people are trying to tackle you and knock the ball away. But the bottom line is, that's a pass he's got to have and a pass he should have caught.
Osweiler. Is this intercepted? It is. It's intercepted. Picked off by Vontae Davis. And his guys have got it back at the closing stages of the first half. And out now comes Jacksonville as they get ready to go. And the ball backed way up. So thinking with this amount of time on the clock, probably just sit on it. And we'll see these two teams go to the lockers.
Yeah, I don't think you want to overthink it in this situation. Either side of the ball. Just go ahead and finish up the half and get on out and talk about it.
And it drops down incomplete. Thought he might have had it. Instead, second down. Second down here after the incomplete pass.
And when all else fails as a defender, when you're not there in your coverage, your best friend is exactly what we saw there. A big play shot taken by the offense. Unfortunately, it ended in a big drop.
So we've come upon halftime here in Houston, and it's the home team, the Texans, leading this one. As we send you over to our headquarters in Orlando, where we check in with Larry Ridley for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. Fighting him off.
Just ran right through the trash.
And he'll make it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. Out come the Jaguars now as they'll go on offense first here in this third quarter. They come out here with a 0 on the scoreboard. What was said in that locker room? That's what I want to know.
I would love to have been in there because...
And Freeman lost the football. And the Texans say they have it. They do. And they came out of the locker trailing. Not a good way to start this second half with their first drive.
Can't imagine that the discussion at halftime encompassed this at all. In fact, I'm sure they talked about, okay, kind of wipe the slate clean, start the second half, and let's go out and play the way we know that we can. That's not a great example of it.
They didn't envision that. And that is caught. Touchdown, Texans. DeAndre Hopkins with touchdown number 2 in the game and now 11 on the year. And the Texans use the short field to their advantage as they cash in for 6. He's got it, and it's 17-0. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And he'll wind up about 4 yards shy of where he would have been if he had taken a knee, as they'll start at the 21-yard line. Here comes the Jaguars offense as they get set here. They're down in this game. A chance for the offense, though, to put something on the board, get some momentum here in half 2.
Try and get things kick-started for them. And you know at the half, they discussed how they were going to get that done. This is where scripting comes into play a lot of the time.
How many plays do you script coming out of the second?
Most of the time in the first half, you're scripting 12 to 16. I think in the second half, you're really scripting more like 8 to 10. Kind of a starter or an opener, whatever terminology they use, just something to get you off to a quick start.
To throw on second down. It's caught on the right side by Robinson. And down he'll go at the 25. That catch good for 5. It's third down. He had time, was able to survey the field and find a soft spot in that zone coverage.
And that's where it gets difficult for a defender, Brandon. You go to your spots on the field that you have to cover, and when the offense finds an area that you're not in, that's where they throw the football.
And the wideout in motion. Throwing his Bortles on third down. And Robinson with a big catch. The 13 yards that time and a first.
I don't care how many times we see it. I still get a kick out of watching quarterbacks and receivers do the pass tree in pregame warm-up. But I always remember that when we go to practices, we see that after practices as well. They really tune it up, don't they?
They tune it up. They know why they do it for these situations. First down.
And they build that trust, and that's why they're able to find him in this type of a situation. Well, the strategy was evident there. Get it to your tight end and make it a one-on-one play with a cornerback. Who's usually going to win that one?
The tight end, but not there.
Not in this situation. How about the corner defeating that logic and making a really nice tackle?
Middle of the field, it's Robinson. A good pickup there, a 22. And at this stage, down in the second half, looks like they just wanted to find a way to get it in the hands of their playmaker, and they did.
I think you're exactly right. I don't think the coordinator's looking at his play sheet and trying to figure out which play will work well. He's trying to figure out how to get the ball to the playmaker that you just described. Looking down at that sheet, you find people plays, not necessarily X's and O's, and that's exactly what they did there.
And now we'll get a timeout. Looks like we've got a Jaguar and some discomfort down there on the field. And how might this affect him for the playoffs? We'll get a report when we come back. And oh, this is taken in one-handed. What a catch. First and goal.
That was a terrific catch. I mean, to go up there and get it one-handed like that, but I almost want to go into that riff about back in my day, the gloves weren't quite like this.
When did gloves really become prevalent, just in general?
I think in the 80s. I think as we started to move through the 80s, especially as we got towards the latter part of that. But a lot of those were really like baseball batting gloves to begin with not much of a tacky area on the glove. In fact, there was none. I actually remember in cold weather games wearing the old scuba gloves, which you'd wear in the diving, but they would split too easily in the course of a game. Then the glove manufacturers got smart and started adding to it, and here we are today.
On second down, here's Bortles. And he's got his big receiver, Robinson, for the Jacksonville touchdown. Allen Robinson hitting double digits with his 10th touchdown of the season. And the Jaguars get a score closer. And it's 17-7. And after the touchdown, here's Myers to boot it away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The Texans offense now, they get set to head back on the field here. And they were able to punch it in the end zone last time. They'll be looking to do that again here for the defense. Obviously, they'll be looking to stop them from punching it back in the end zone.
It always is punch, counter punch, isn't it? And which team has the advantage? Well, let's just go back. Last time on offense, they rolled downfield, got into a good rhythm. You can see a little more bounce in and out of the huddle. You can see the sideline really get into the game. So defensively, you're thinking to yourself, how do we take that away from them? How do we get the advantage back? Let's see what they come up with. I think pressure is always the first way to go.
You love pressure.
I love it.
We'll see if they dial it up this drive.
No. Check. Patriots.
Possible run anticipation. Here's the D-line sandwiches together. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll be brought down shy of the 40 at the 38-yard line. A gain of 4 that time as the drive continues. Offense comes to the line now, 1st and 10. Again, we'll see the pistol here. And he'll give it here to his running back. And this carry not as productive. He's swallowed up at the line of scrimmage. Dante Fowler in on the stop.
After watching that play and result, I go back to when we sat with the offensive coordinator, Brandon, before the game and said, how are you going to move the ball running it against the #1 defense? He gave us no indication, didn't tip his hand at all, so we have to see how this unfolds as this game moves along.
Throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain.
I think the best offenses love to get the ball to their running backs in open space because they have the ability to make people miss, and they also have the ability to run over people. And if you do that throughout the game, after a while, they might just run through some of those tackles and go a long way.
Well, we saw him shed a nice tackle on that play. Well, if you're going to pass on 3rd and 1, you better get a first down if you complete it. They completed it, but no gain.
The aiming point has to be beyond the first down marker where you throw the ball. 3rd and 1, you can't have anything that's even close to the line of scrimmage. Otherwise, you run the risk of what we just saw there, not getting the first down.
It's a gain of 4 there, and it gives them a new set of downs.
Everyone understood their role on that play. 3rd and 1. You know, the defensive guys, they're trying to get down and get low and get leverage on the offensive lineman, but they didn't allow that to happen. They created a crease and allowed him to get through for a first down.
Now a play fake here on 1st down. And he fires one that's intercepted. A great read, and it's picked off. And his guys are going to get the football at the 37-yard line. And out now comes Jacksonville as they get ready to go. And they're hoping to capture some of that magic they had last time out when they were able to put together a scoring drive. But they're still down here, Charles.
Not the major concern, though, because of what you talked about. They scored the last time out. They feel good about themselves. They feel like their game plan is now in effect. They know how to attack and what plays they want to put together. But they've got to keep it moving in the right direction because, as you did note, they are down on the scoreboard.
It's caught. Lockett. And he's taken down, but not before he gets this into enemy territory across the 40.
Never make the mistake that the slot receivers, especially the little guys like we're watching here, are just quicker than fast. A lot of them combine quickness and speed, and they catch a lot of footballs, as we just saw there.
This is Freeman on 1st and 10. And he's in for the score, and his spectacular season continues as he ties the NFL touchdown record.
He is phenomenal. Well, partner, that was another explosive run, and one thing I've learned in our time in this game, yes, the offensive line has to get a lot of credit, but for big runs to occur, the wide receivers have to block well downfield.
And then you have to have a good guy carrying the ball too, right?
Oh, without a doubt. You need that difference maker lugging the rock.
And after the touchdown, here's Myers to boot it away. And a fair catch signaled for and taken successfully. Heading out is the Texans offense as they get set to take over here. And following the interception, we'll see what they can put together on this drive.
I can hear my old college coach right now. He always used to tell us before every game, the team making the fewest mistakes will win. What they're hoping is that last mistake is their only one of the game.
Coaches, that's all they talk about, turnovers, right?
Minimizing those and maximizing opportunities.
Back now here on EA Sports. It's been a very hotly contested game to this point. Just a field goal separating these two teams as we get set for the fourth quarter. And they'll go ground game here with a tailback. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be second down. And in this situation with the lead fourth quarter, they're liking keeping the ball on the ground, I'm sure.
It's just smart football, but you know the defense has to know it as well. They've got to stop them here. So now we're going to see that loading the box in a big way. 6, 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take, puts a little bit more pressure on your big offensive line. Well, on that play, the expression, don't blink, you might miss something, certainly applied. That was fast. Defense diagnosed the play, and it was over in a heartbeat.
So 3rd and 7 and an extra defensive back on the field here.
Definitely want to play coverage here.
And finding Fedorowicz. And he's able to get it to the 33. Good enough for a first down.
And that pickup of a first down, that's going to leave a mark because they really needed to stop them there, didn't they?
Oh, so frustrating. Defensively, you're a play away from getting that football back here down late. Tough.
Now they've got to find a way to create a turnover or a takeaway. Otherwise, this one will probably get away from them.
A good pickup there, 26 yards. And that's one of his advantages of a passer, is it not? With his height, setting back there in the pocket, firing it over the middle, he can really see everything clearly.
It is, and I know that other quarterbacks get it done different ways, all right? You don't have to be his height to make a great play, but what he does is he takes away having to make those slide steps in the pocket to find angles to throw the ball through. He just throws right over the top of it because he can see everything, and sometimes that saves time and gets the ball to a receiver quicker.
And he's in for the score. Touchdown, Texans. A great play there. Touchdown number 15 on the year. And the Texans will add on to their lead. And he's got it up and through. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And last year that would have been a net gain of 5 on the return. This year he stopped where he would have been if he had taken a knee, and that's at the 25. Here comes the Jaguars offense as they get set to go again. And they're going to need another score. Got one last time, but still down here.
When you're playing catch-up, every possession becomes crucial, doesn't it? It's vital. Get back out on the field, punch it in the end zone again. They know it's not easy, but what they do have going for them, they did score the last time. They think they've got a good formula working.
And what about the defense?
Well, now you're just saying to yourself, okay, give up a score last time. What adjustments do we need to make to slow them down now and get the ball back for our own offense? Is it more pressure? Is it more zone? What do they have to do? They're trying to figure that out themselves.
We'll see if they can figure that out right here. Throwing now is Bortles. Wide open receiver complete. He goes for 18 there as the drive will continue. And they're going to hurry back to the line now.
I know we just saw a nice throwing catch, but how about the big guys up front buying that time? Yeah, that's exactly what they did. They created time and allowed the space.
And that's caught inside the 30. A gain of 32 that time. A great job pulling that one in from a guy, as we know, who can really blaze. He's got a lot of speed.
And that speed can work for him so many different ways. Sometimes he just takes off and goes and just runs past people. Sometimes you get people to back off so far that you can catch everything underneath. But still, at some point in the game, you probably have to make some contested catches, right? Sometimes you have to go up and beat a defender for the football. He has that in his arsenal as well.
Showed it right there. Now Bortles again. And he will find his man on the outside. It'll go as a gain of 6 that time, and it moves the chains as well.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to a secondary target for a nice game.
I was just going to ask you, that wasn't the primary target, and he's so good at that, isn't he?
I think he knew right away that he wasn't going to get to his primary guy. I think he read that as soon as he got to the line of scrimmage, knew where the pressure was going to come from, and said, I know how to beat that, and that's what he did.
Freeman, the lone man in the backfield. And they'll give it to him here. And this play doesn't go anywhere. Backwards, losing yardage to the 11. And they'll lose a yard that time, and that's going to lead to a third down. Now play number 7 of this drive, but it's a tough 3rd and 9. Now Bortles. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
Putting pressure on the guy throwing the football is always good, but when you can couple that with contact on him that leads to an incompletion, as we just saw there, that's winning football.
And Myers able to knock it through. Time for a break. We're back to see what happens after this. Myers now converted on the field goal try. Now he's on to kick it away. And now out comes Houston. They have the lead, obviously, late in the game. I guess the good news for them is if for some reason they would make a mistake, a field goal does the opposition no good.
Everyone loves to have a little bit of a cushion, and that helps you immeasurably. But the bottom line is, do all the things that you're taught in order to close out the game. Don't even let that become an issue.
Yeah, and now the Jags defense deciding to call a timeout. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages. Osweiler's going to throw it. They'll try and set up the screen. It's complete. Nothing on the screen that time. Now it's 3rd down. And now the Jags going to signal for another timeout. That'll leave them with just 1 remaining in this 4th quarter of play. Offense in a little bit of a bind here. 9 yards to go on 3rd down.
Hey. Here we go. All right, now, look at 56. All right, now, look over. All right, here we go.
And they'll try the ground game here with the running back. Not much room here as he only gets it to about the 30. Call it a gain of 4, and it'll bring up 4th down. Now here's a whistle and a timeout. It's called by the receiving team here. That'll be their 3rd and final stoppage here as we step aside. Taking it about the 16. A good return there, 17 yards. And the offense will come back onto the field for the 1st and 10. Out comes the Jacksonville offense as they get set to take over here. They're down here in a 1-score game, but the time, it's a factor, but it's not a huge factor right now, is it?
It's really not, because this amount of time gives them a chance to run their offense, to go through play sequences. And this is what they work on every week in practice, usually on a Friday. They go over this type of a situation, late game situation. What are we going to do when we have the opportunity? They've called these plays a bunch of times. Now's their chance to execute them.
They have the opportunity now. Here's the execution. And now it looks like they're going to be in the hurry up. Back to throw. Looking middle, and that's complete. And he'll get it out to midfield. Looks like, yeah, they'll spot it right at midfield at the 50. It's a 10-yard pickup, and it moves the chains.
I know many people like to throw to the tight end, maybe in a little flexed out position because he creates mismatches with his size. But slot receivers do the same thing with their quickness, their speed, and their route running savvy.
Back to throw. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. Oh, this is taken in. It's complete. And he takes it in. Touchdown, Jacksonville. Tyler Lockett in the final minute. And the Jaguars are within an extra point of tying this one up. And we are tied here in the 4th quarter. So here comes the kickoff now, all even here in this fourth quarter. And here comes the Texans now. They've got work to do, but they do still have a bit of time here.
And they've got to feel comfortable with that, but they have all their play sequences called. If they get out of bounds, that allows them to huddle and call another play. But if they don't, it's hurry up to the line of scrimmage and either spike it and stop the clock or continue to move it downfield in order to try and get in range and win this game.
See if they can do just that. Now Osweiler. Hopkins on the grab over the middle. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. Fresh set of downs here. Now it's Osweiler. The hook up on the right side to Hopkins. Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages. So the offense has it 1st and 10. They'll put 2 receivers left, 2 to the right. Throwing now is Osweiler. Oh, a scrap for the football, and he's going to come down with it. Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense. That'll leave them with just 1 remaining in this 4th quarter of play. 1st down and 10 now for the offensive group. They isolate Hopkins on the left side.
Here we go. Now let's go. Blue, Detroit.
Here's Osweiler. He's got Fuller. And he's in for the touchdown. And in the final seconds, forget overtime. They just likely won this thing in regulation. So they do get it across for the game-winning touchdown, barring, of course, something crazy happening on the kickoff.
So if we take the crazy out of it, that's the way you close the game out.
Out is the Texans kick team as they'll send this one away. Very short kick. This will be taken by one of the up men. And solid field position here to start as they get it out to the 40-yard line. And out now comes Jacksonville as they get ready to go. They have time here, partner, for just 1 final heave.
And I have to look at it from the defense's perspective here. We know what they're going to do on offense. The Hail Mary, try and get guys down there and throw it in the end zone, tip it around and catch it. You've got to have guys back there to defend that, but also you can't allow the quarterback as much time as he wants to set up and throw it. Maybe you bring a little extra pressure to make sure he gets rid of it quicker.
A little bit of a cat and mouse game. We'll see if they bring that pressure. One final try now for Bortles. Middle of the field, it's Robinson. And he takes this one down all the way near the 30. Well, going into the final play of this game, they knew that they needed some type of a miracle there at the very end, but they couldn't get it done. However, we were treated to really a spectacular affair.
Even though they didn't finish it off, you're exactly right. They took us down to the last play. You're wondering, could it happen? Possibly, even though we both knew it was a long shot.
So for the Texans, it's a big win here as they move to 11-4 now in the year. And they'll get to stay put for a few days as they'll host the Denver Broncos next week. Meanwhile, for Jacksonville, this was basically just an exhibition game for them as they'd already clinched home field advantage. And they'll get a home date next week against the Kansas City Chiefs. So that'll just about do it for Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. For more, log on to easports.com. It's a win for the Texans as we say so long from Houston.